You know, Jeff Cork, in space, no one can hear you scream.
It's actually not true.
And I haven't heard you scream about any of your experience with alien colonial marines.
Been keeping it close to my space vest, but I think I'm ready to talk to you about it, Tim.
Open up that airlock chamber and let me in. I've played multiplayer, you've played single player.
Yeah, with our powers combined, I think we have a pretty good look at the game. So let's talk about Aliens Colonial Marines.
This takes place after...
Takes place after Aliens.
Yeah.
If you remember from the end of the film, some spoilers here, the power plant explodes and they see the explosion from space. That didn't actually destroy Hadley's Hope as we know it, so I'm kind of excited to see how they explain that away. I was a little worried, because I think in the past the game space on the Alien franchise have been, I think that's fair to say. I mean, they've been fun in their own way, but none of them have really captured what made the film so fun. And I think they're definitely on the right track. The xenomorphs, like in past games, I think like Alien vs. Predator, I think that came close to it, you know, with just how agile they are. But I think this is like a further refinement of that. Why don't you tell me about multiplayer?
So it was just xenomorphs versus marines. And I didn't get to play as any xenomorphs, I was just a marine. It was Gearbox that was facing off against us. And we were on the planet's surface, and the atmosphere was really actually surprised me, especially for a multiplayer map. You know, the way that the xenomorphs move is important for kind of creating that creepiness. And I was surprised by how good the animations are. And I'm sure you saw some of that, but it feels really convincing. You get that sort of unnatural, predatory, stalking motion. It works well in multiplayer. It's not like, you know, your enemy xenomorphs are just like jumping up and down like idiots or something, or teabagging you. It's still really scary, and you have to stay together, otherwise you're just done. But we got pretty surgically taken apart by the xenomorphs. Didn't go that well. I had a little bit of better luck in another mode, which reminded me of Left 4 Dead 2's, like, they call them like the crescendo moments, you know, like the climaxes, where you were going from point A to point B while just tons of dudes were attacking you. Wait for an elevator to come down and hold the line as guys are coming. It was a great way just to get in there and shoot a bunch of xenomorphs and see how far you could get. I think this is going to cater to people that just like want that crazy, dumb, intense action of the Aliens movies in accessible modes, and that feels like an Aliens movie. Like, this is the closest to genuine I think we've gotten from a game trying to do something in that universe.
One of the interesting things about multiplayer too is that the Xenos that you choose to play on that faction, the perspective switches from first person to like a distant third person. And I was talking to Gearbox about that, and they made that decision for a couple of reasons. First of all,
claustrophobia, right?
Well, that, and also because they are so nimble that they were saying that like in past games you have like a first person perspective of like you walk up to a wall and suddenly you're on the wall or you're on the ceiling, you know, that it's just kind of disorienting. And this one kind of gives you a better sense of where you are in relation to the world. And they also said, you know, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Because the Xenos, they put a lot of effort into them.
What I was trying to say about claustrophobia there is, like, in the same sense that Splinter Cell's, you know, mercenaries, like spies versus mercs, and I think that that's similar conceptually to what they're doing with multiplayer there, where it's like the Marines are at an advantage because they can attack from a distance. The Xenomorphs are primarily close-range enemies, but they have the advantage because they can see everything around them, and I think that's a really cool way to balance out the gameplay.
Yeah. Going into it, I don't know what your thoughts were. I mean, this is a game that's been in development in some form or another for like 5, almost 6 years now.
There's been 2 Borderlands since Gearbox started working on this one.
So it's just kind of like, not under my radar, but just kind of completely off it. Like,
yeah.
Just like, yeah, it's just this thing that's happening, whatever. Got a few demos of it, that look pretty cool, but after like getting to spend some hands-on time with it, it's something I'm definitely looking forward to playing.
Yeah,
in
me
2013.
too. Dude, let's be Marines together and try to kill a bunch of aliens.
Yes.